So people often ask me, why did I become a Jesuit? Why did I leave acting to pursue the life of a priest? And my initial answer usually is, well, why does anybody choose to do anything, right? Why does somebody choose to be a doctor? Why does somebody choose to be a teacher? I think it taps into a deep desire for something more, for something greater. I mean, for me, priesthood was not just a choice among many things to choose from, like a doctor, a lawyer, whatever. Clearly, it wasn't anything that I thought of really pursuing in a serious way. But I feel like it has been something that has been a part of me, sort of like in the background, sort of as background music, all throughout my life. One of my earliest memories is of my great-grandmother, actually, teaching me to pray in Spanish. This was in the Philippines. And I credit her for planting the seeds way back when I was like 3 years old. Again, the memory I have is sort of as like a camera hovering over us, right? And I see myself sort of laying there praying and sort of parroting what she was saying as she taught me how to pray in Spanish. My great-grandmother was of Spanish and Italian descent. Anyway, so that's the earliest memory of sort of the seed planting back then. I think sort of got nurtured along the way. Went to Catholic school, grade school, as well as high school, but didn't really think about priesthood until, at least seriously, really until after graduating college, when I moved out to Los Angeles. And it was I think 1994 when I went and checked out a come and see, or like a discernment retreat at the seminary, the diocesan seminary down in Los Angeles. And I left that retreat thinking, well, I don't not want to become a priest, but it just didn't feel right. At the time, my acting career was taking off as well, and relationships were kind of happening. And so I thought, well, I could do other things. I can serve God in other ways by singing in choirs. I sang in 3 different choirs, a Catholic choir, an ecumenical choir, and then a Baptist choir, because a friend of mine was a music director, and I helped him out as a tenor there. So I thought, well, I was doing things for God, for the church, right? I also was a visiting minister to the sick. I brought Eucharist to shut-ins. So I thought, again, I was doing things that helped to feed my soul. I also did a lot of community service work. I did after-school arts. I did an after-school arts program working with at-risk youth in Los Angeles, using theater arts as a way of helping them to express themselves in a positive way. So anyway, all these things, I thought, I'm doing God's work, and this is all that's required of me, right? But I just felt like God kept pushing and tugging and saying, no, I want more, I want more, I want more. To the point where I just started playing bargaining games with God, saying, look, okay, if you want me to become a priest, then give me this audition, help me to pay my rent, do all these things, right, to prove that this is what you want from me. Be careful what you pray for, because God answers prayers. So I got those auditions. I got I was able to pay my rent. All these different things. My prayers were answered, and I thought, well, okay, that's just coincidental. That's not God, right? So, but it kept happening. I kept playing those bargaining games until finally, I just stopped my tactic. I changed my tactic by saying, okay, Lord, if you really want me to become a priest, because by this time it felt like every Sunday was Vocation Sunday, right? Like the priest was talking directly at me. Jesus is calling you to change your life, all these different things, right? So finally I tried a different tactic, saying, okay, if you want me to become a priest, then take away these things. Take away the acting career, take away the relationships, take away, just to test, right? Again, be careful what you pray for, because God answers prayers. So those things started to dwindle and fall. So I thought, okay, I can't deny this anymore. So I went and told a friend of mine, I'm thinking of leaving all the acting stuff behind. What do you think? And he said, don't do it, man, don't do it. But if you do, check out the Jesuits, he said. And he explained to me what he understood to be Jesuit spirituality, because he had gone to a Jesuit high school in Los Angeles. And he explained that you can be an actor and a priest at the same time. I had never heard of that before. So I thought, okay, these people are worth checking out. So I looked online, and sure enough, there was a come and see, another sort of discernment retreat at the novitiate down in Culver City in Los Angeles. So I went to that, and I stayed. It was like a half-day retreat, and I was the last one to leave after hearing, vocation stories and asking questions and stuff like that. Until finally, I was the last one to leave, and as I was driving off, I thought to myself, all right, you got me. It felt right. It just felt like this was the place to be. And so I began discernment. I went into spiritual direction, and a year later, applied and had an amazing experience during a discernment retreat, excuse me, where I had this profound experience of Jesus' love for me, Jesus' desire for me to serve him in this way as a priest. And it just confirmed and affirmed what I had already been feeling over the course of the past, 2 years, I guess, at that time. And so I decided to enter. Again, the choice to leave acting to become a priest was not just an overnight decision. It had been a process, an ongoing process that God had been sort of working in me. Again, through my great-grandmother, through friends in high school and college, through that one friend in particular who said, don't do it, but check out the Jesuits, and also through just my own internal prayer and discernment, ongoing discernment through the course of the initial years, but now in the course of these years, months, now weeks and days leading up to ordination.